Und wir kommen zum nächsten Tagesordnungspunkt, und zwar zu den Erklärungen des Rates und der Kommission Todesfälle auf hoher See, eine gemeinsame Reaktion der Europäischen Union zur Rettung von Menschenleben und Maßnahmen zur Sicherstellung sicherer und legaler Migrationswege. Und Frau Jessika ROSWALL, namens des Rates haben Sie das Wort.
Madam President, Honourable Member, Commissioner, before we start, let me allow me to say that I am deeply saddened by the recent terrible shipwreck off the coast of Italy. They claim that the lives of over 70 people, including several children. I wish to extend my deep felt condolences to the families and friends of those who lost their lives in this tragic event. Sadly, this was not an isolated event. Over the past years, thousands and thousands of people, many of them young children, have lost their lives in attempt to reach Europe. This tragedy serves a stark reminder that saving lives at sea is not only a legal obligation, but also a humanitarian and moral imperative. These tragedies also serve a brutal reminder of the need to take political action. Moving forward on the Migration Pact, and increased external action is imperative. Fighting trafficking and smuggling is a priority. A joint European response is necessary. This is a broad agreement at the Council that we need to adopt effective and lasting solutions to address the immediate and ongoing challenges on all routes, including the central Mediterranean route. In this regard, the European Council recognizes, and I quote, the specificities of maritime borders, including as regards safeguarding lives. It also underlines the need for reinforced cooperation regarding search and rescue activities. Let me now say a few words on some of the main lines of action that the EU is pursuing. We welcome the relaunch on the European Contact Group on Search and Rescue by the European Commission. Several member states are engaged in discussions to set up an enhanced cooperation framework for search and rescue amongst SARS actors, including international humanitarian and maritime organizations. We also need to move forward with the work to partnership with third countries along the routes, increasing capacities in border and asylum management, providing financial support and technical and material assistance is ongoing in many partner countries. This work will continue, and we will step up where it is feasible. In this context, it is important to recall that the effective protection of the Schengen external borders is not contrary to respect for the values and fundamental rights in the EU. Indeed, our frontline member states have not only the right, but also the duty to protect the European borders. This is a common responsibility, and we manage, despite the considerable difficulties and challenges that we faced with. Naturally, in carrying out these duties, Schengen borders codes must be applied in accordance with the European and international law. Honourable members, safe and legal migration is also a central part of our comprehensive approach to migration. With almost 3 million third country nationals migration to the EU every year, the opportunities clearly exist. These legal pathways have the potential to benefit migrants, countries of origin, as well as countries of destination. Legal pathways also contribute towards reducing irregular departures and consequently saving lives at sea. When it comes to those most vulnerable, our member states have shown that they are committed to stepping up their efforts, in particular by way of resettlement. Since 2015, successful EU-sponsored resettlement schemes and humanitarian admissions programs have helped more than 130,000 people in need of international protection to find shelter in our member states. I should also mention the steps forward taken by both co-legislators towards an agreement on the Union Resettlement Framework Regulation. As a result, we will finally be able to move from ad hoc resettlement schemes to a stable framework with greater sustainability and predictability for the protection for those who need. Honourable members, the EU needs a comprehensive migration policy that protects our borders, provides protection to those who in need and prevents the loss of migrants' lives. I outlined today a number of areas on which we are working. It is the combination of these different strands of actions that will ultimately bring about results. Thank you very much for the attention. I'm looking forward to the debate.
Herzlichen Dank, Frau Ratspräsidentin. Ich darf nun Frau Kommissarin Johansson Ylva das Wort erteilen.
Imagine you're a woman and all you want is a better life for your child. You think your only choice is to go on a very dangerous journey. Imagine how high the waves, how small the boat, how crowded, how ice-cold the wind, the pouring rain. Imagine the fear, imagine the terror that you might not be saved. And all because you have not found a legal way of coming to the European Union. Since this Parliament put this debate on the agenda, yet another tragedy at sea. 30 people missing, presumed drowned. Behind the numbers, there are people, human beings. Like Shahida Raza, she was 27 years old from Pakistan. She was such a woman. All she wanted was to care for her disabled son, Hassan. She could not come legally, she thought. She's one of the more than 80 people, as far as we know, who died in the waters of Calabria on February 26th. The price of her life, 8,000 euros. The smuggler's fee, blood money. The shipwreck apparently happened when the smugglers steered the vessel onto shallow ground. The smugglers abandoned ship, leaving their passengers to their fate. This tragedy must be a call to action. Our first priority, save lives. Our alternative, safe and legal pathways. Our mission, fight the smugglers who ruthlessly endanger people's lives. We must work relentlessly to bring them to justice, be always one step ahead. Fighting smuggling is central to our action plan on the Central Mediterranean. We must step up the fight as Team Europe with member states. We are building partnerships to fight smuggling, supporting joint investigations between member states and North African partners. I will soon travel to Tunisia, where, as you know, the situation is of concern, to boost our joint fight against smugglers and strengthen our comprehensive migration partnership. And we must do more to prevent irregular departures, stop people getting into smugglers' boats and risking their lives at sea. But we need migration, but in a regular way, safe ways, legal pathways. We must work as Team Europe with countries of origin, transit and destination to manage migration jointly with our partners along the routes, including the Central Mediterranean. To save lives, we also need to work better together. Coordination is at the heart of the new European Integrated Border Management Strategy that the Commission adopted yesterday, based on your valuable input from this House. And we relaunched the European Contact Group on Search and Rescue. I welcome the active participation of member states who are now working to improve situational awareness and cooperation at sea. But we need also to give people alternatives to smugglers' boats and trucks. Legal migration for those who want to work. Our societies and economies need skilled labor. Healthcare alone lacks 2 million professionals today. So we are setting up an ambitious new talent pool to help people enter into the EU safely and legally. And we are working on the talent partnerships so people can learn and work in key sectors in member states. And we will provide legal pathways for refugees, safe journeys to safe homes, resettlement and humanitarian corridors for 50,000 people in the next 2 years, supported by at least €500 million. We are linking community sponsorship of refugees to work by supporting companies with a targeted funding call to employ refugees now living in camps and in limbo. We have already successfully adopted the new blue card, and I encourage the co-legislators to make progress and adopt the 2 legislative proposals on the single permit directive and the long-term residence directive. In the letter from President von der Leyen to the leaders, she outlined the key operational actions on migration we are taking already now. She will update the Council on progress next week. All of these policies and operations are important, but will only be truly effective as part of a European migration policy. I am encouraged by the GHA Council last week, where ministers from across the EU committed to adopt the whole pact on migration and asylum during this mandate. I'm encouraged by the Swedish presidency, committed to start trialogues already in June on the central pieces on solidarity and responsibility, including the special category for the search and rescue cases on relocation. And of course, by the progress this House is making, by adopting the mandates on the key pact files, I hope already this month. So let these tragedies at sea remind us. Migration challenges need a European response to save lives, to manage migration, to fight smugglers, to open safe and legal pathways. I'm fully aware that you, in this House, already know this. We need to work together to find solutions and to agree on the pact. Thank you.
Merci, Madam Commissioner. Our next